That was Ayrton Senna's Lotus.
While I was at Goodwood, there were times it felt like I was on a movie set, and for good reason. As many of you will know, the upcoming Brad Pitt film F1 not only stars the Fight Club actor, but there are also a lot of IWC watches. And given that IWC have been linked with the fast-paced world of Formula One for well over a decade now, thanks to its sponsorship of the F1 Mercedes team, it makes sense to have the brand on board for this blockbuster. But before you get to ride shotgun with me around the Goodwood Members Meet, let's take a quick look at the one thing that we'll be looking out for when the film is released in June. That's the watches. We've all seen the ingenuity that Brad Pitt has been spotted wearing with the amazing green dial. But just like Pitt, that watch needs a co-star. Enter the Pilot's Watch Performance Chronograph 41 in a solid 18-carat bi-ven gold case. This is the watch we will be seeing on Damson Idris' wrist. And in fact, we did see it on his wrist at Goodwood. Pitt's co-star was wearing the $26,000 watch on this rather sunny day as he spoke with the press and performed a stunt around the historic track. The black and gold chronograph matches the livery of Damson and Brad's fictional F1 team, Apex GP, so it makes it the perfect timing device for Damson to have on hand as he traverses the highs and lows of what I'm sure will be a dramatic F1 season on the silver screen. The watch itself should be recognisable to the fans of the brand. Heck, they even made the exact same watch for the real F1 team they sponsored last year, which was the watch on IWC CEO Chris Granger-Herr's wrist on the day at Goodwood. The film really is a merging of fiction and reality, with this watch at the very centre of it. Of course, as we wandered around the IWC Paddock, we were able to spot plenty of other IWC watches on the wrists, whether it was the stainless steel version that Damson's co-star, Kerry Condon, was wearing, or the special Seritanium piece Chris was wearing. Even I went for the Mark 20 watch, made for the Mercedes-AMG F1 team, with its eye-catching blue details. But we weren't just there to look at watches. There are a lot of cars to look at too. And let's begin where we started our day with the IWC Paddock. Now, some of these cars you might recognise from an earlier video of ours, because earlier this year at Watches and Wonders, Andrew and Chris took a tour around the brand's booth, where the cars from the F1 film that we are about to see race around the track at Goodwood were parked up. Andrew and Chris talked through all the details of these high-performance cars that make the movie magic happen over in that video. So if you want to learn more, I suggest you hop over there and give it a watch. But we weren't in the windowless Palexpo, we were in sunny Goodwood, and I managed to track down Chris to chat to him more about what it means for IWC to sponsor this historic event and about the stunt we were about to see.
This is really where everything from pre-war V16 monsters come together to modern GT cars that have just been out on the track. That, analogy between mechanical watches and mechanical cars, these raw machines that have a personality, that are individual, that have their own heartbeat, their own character. So we were a long-standing partner with Goodwood Members Meeting, and it's always such a joy to come here.
Amazing. And this year, it's kind of a big year for IWC in motorsports in general, with the F1 film coming out. And so we've got Damson Idris being interviewed just over there with his race car. Tell me about this partnership.
It's a unique project. So the idea really was to bring the world of Formula One and the world of Hollywood together, really take that Netflix concept to the next level. Now, the producer and director, Joe Kosinski, Jerry Bruckheimer, we worked with them on Top Gun Maverick. They perfected this camera system by Sony to take cameras into the jets and be able to film the actors inside the cockpit and have the right facial expressions as the jets do their thing. And really the next project, they said to me, hey, we're going to do one on Formula One. Do you want to be part of that? And I said, but you don't have to ask me twice.
No.
Mercedes cars, Lewis Hamilton producing, Jerry Bruckheimer, Hans Zimmer scoring, Joe Kosinski directing. So it's an absolute no-brainer.
So tell me, what else can we expect from today? I hear there's going to be a stunt taking place with the cars.
So we're going to try and let the audience experience what high dynamic, high speed filming actually looks like. So we're going to take the AMG GT Apex movie car out on track with Damson in the car, and then we have the GLC 63 tracking car with the camera, and the live feed of the camera is going to be in the Goodwood feed, and hopefully we're going to show in 5 laps how this lead and follow tracking and action maneuvers is going to work, give the audience a flavor how racing in Hollywood and watchmaking really come together.
It wasn't just movie stars that we were there to see at the Goodwood Members Meet. There were plenty of cars to see too. Whether it's vintage races or more modern machines you're after, all tastes and engine sizes were catered for. It cannot be overemphasized how powerful a feeling you get when a 50-year-old V8 or V10 revs right next to you as it's on its way out to the track. And then you see these aged racers being put through their paces on this historic track. It's a very special experience.
Those are 50, 60-year-old cars, Jag E-types, Mercs, Lotuses, getting thrashed around here at Goodwood. This is what these cars were built to do.
At points, I just found myself wandering around the main paddock with these incredible machines being worked on by the enthusiastic mechanics who help keep these cars in the same condition they were created in, meaning that the drivers were able to put their foot down as they raced around Goodwood. One experience that I was not expecting to see was the Formula 1 car that Ayrton Senna won his first Grand Prix in being raced around Goodwood. But there it was, speeding around like it was 1985 all over again.
So that was Ayrton Senna's Lotus in a John Player special livery that he won his first ever Grand Prix in 40 years ago. And it's being driven by Bruno Senna, his nephew.
And after he completed his laps, we were able to grab a few moments with him to talk about what it was like for him at the Goodwood Members Meeting this year.
I love coming here. It's the spirit is amazing. People love it, and the best part is I get to drive some really special cars as well. So
yeah, you have driven the most special car here today, and that was my next question for you. How did it feel jumping in that car, doing a couple of fast laps around here today? What was going through your mind as you were doing?
This car is so special. It's the car that Ayrton won his first Grand Prix in, and in the most amazing conditions in Estoril in '85. So 40 years ago, that's when it happened. And I got to drive a few special cars. This one is right at the top, really, because it's the first win. It's like that first achievement where
you only get one of those.
Everything he worked for in his life sort of like culminating that day. So I think, give me goosebumps to drive it. And of course, you want to drive harder and faster, but you always have to respect the machinery. Otherwise, the guys from Team Classic Lotus, they will kick my ass. So
there we have it, guys. The 82nd Goodwood Members Meet is a wrap. We've seen some incredible cars here. We've seen some movie stars, we've seen some race stars, and I hope you had your volume turned up, because oh my God, the sound of those engines, I'm not sure I'm going to forget that for a long time. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything that really stood out to you, and please remember to like and subscribe the video down below.